Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hi, I'm General Grudge, and welcome to A Newb in Space. Here you'll be seeing an old man trying to learn to play the alpha of Star Citizen for the first time, and quite frankly, struggling a lot. I start by opening up the key bindings, try to figure out what keys do what, which is always what you have to do in a new game. The key binding screen is very confusing. You feel like Sherlock Holmes using a magnifying glass trying to figure out what buttons to push. Also, please keep in mind that I'm coming into this game nearly blind, other than watching a couple of streamers play from time to time. So I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm also coming into this game being gone from the PC for 15 years playing console games. So I've got the mind of a console gamer, and quite frankly, I'm dumber than I used to be. Not to mention I'm getting pretty old. I'm 41, and I'm running around trying to walk through glass windows that aren't even doors. I got my new PC in February, and it took a little while to get used to using a mouse and keyboard again, but I'm doing real well and having a good time. Here I come up to a door that I assume that I can go through. At the time I didn't notice the big giant red X over it. I assume I have to push F or E to open the door, and of course it doesn't work. And so I go back into my key bindings trying to figure out which button I'm pushing wrong. Unfortunately at the time I'm just standing at the wrong door, and I'm too dumb to see that. Since getting my new PC, I've broke myself in with games like Subnautica, and I play a lot of Overwatch now, so I'm getting used to the controls again. But this is the first game that I've played since then that's in alpha, and also kind of complicated. Almost a bit of a sim, so I struggle a little bit. Hey, I found the right door. Should have been more obvious because it has a giant green arrow on it. But give me some credit, I finally found my way into the space station. Even in alpha, Star Citizen is a very good looking game, although I don't realize till later that I don't have all the settings set to high, and it'll start looking even better when I figure that out. Here I find that I can crouch and even crawl, and I'm making progress as I head to the weapons store. So far the stores are pretty basic in Star Citizen. Here I find a few weapons that I have no idea how to buy or even how much money I've got. But they look cool, and I'm not really worried about it at this point, because right now all I'm really trying to do is go find my ship, get in it, take it for a ride, and I'm going to consider that a victory. Around the corner you can see some of the armor that you can get already. It all looks pretty cool, but again I have zero idea how much money I've got or even how to try it on. At this point I open up my menus for a while and look at the controls over and over and over again, but I cut a lot of that out because it was becoming redundant. I came into Star Citizen knowing that I would struggle a bit, knowing that I wouldn't know what to do. So like I said, I set myself a simple goal of just finding my ship and getting on it for this first playthrough. Now there are plenty of people playing this game that know what they're doing, and you can go watch their how-to videos or tutorials, I'm sure, and learn the game really quick. But I thought it would be an interesting experiment to go into it almost blind, and also show people that are maybe like me, maybe new to being back to PC gaming, what it would be like to come in as a complete noob. How you would experience it, what you would see, and how you would learn organically. It might give you a better idea if the Star Citizen Alpha is good for you at this point, or if you should wait. And this shop that I was just in, it's just a basic casual shop for you running around space stations, what you wear. Not a lot there, but I like this sort of stuff. I look forward to, in the future, after learning what I'm doing, to customizing my character. I always enjoyed stuff like that. And of course, you wouldn't be a good space station if you didn't have a bar. Here we stop for a second at the G-Lock, just looking around because I'm more interested in finding my ship. But I look around, I assume that in the future this will be a place where you go and socialize, meet other people, and maybe set up missions and such. Now, one of the streamers I watched, I believe it was Massive G on YouTube, I did see him walk into this bar and show how to dance. So I knew how to slash dance coming into this, and that's about the only thing I knew what to do. And it was very uninteresting. Obviously, this is placeholder dance animation. Star Citizen has been a bit controversial considering the massively successful Kickstarter campaign they had where they raised a lot of money. A lot of people question, will there really be a game there, especially one as ambitious as they promised? I think that this early alpha, even though it's full of glitches, shows a lot of potential and a strong foundation for a game that I'm looking forward to learning and growing with as I play it. And here we prove that you can teach an old dog new tricks. I realize that one door is for entering and one door is for exiting, and I successfully exit the space station like a boss. That said, I am ready and willing to find my ship, and I think it's safe to assume that this elevator is the way to go. The elevator is basically a menu for the different sections of the base, where you can find the hangar and the place where your ships are stored. Unfortunately, it's a little glitchy. It's the glitchiest part of the game, and I didn't realize that. So I come to this elevator, and I press F to use, and half the time it works, half the time it doesn't. But I don't realize that at the time. I assume I'm doing something wrong. I don't realize that this part of the game is sometimes broken. I press F to use, and nothing happens, and it's very confusing. So if you're interested in trying out the alpha, please keep in mind, stuff like this can be very frustrating. That line between you not knowing what to do or the game being slightly broken can be very confusing and can be very frustrating, and so just be aware of it if you come into something like Star Citizen. And I think only you can know yourself well enough to judge if it's worth dealing with the early frustration just to see something cool, new, epic while it's still being made. You'll have to judge that for yourself. That said, there will be frustration. You will be frustrated at times if you come in unprepared like I am. If you don't have a lot of spare time to play the game, to learn the game, to print out all the controls. There'll be a lot of moments like this where you just stand around like a moron. But you can do like I do, break down and ask someone in chat what to do, and if you're lucky, someone will be nice enough to tell you and help you along the way. I ended up being on that elevator for what was an embarrassing amount of time, so I cut a lot of that out so you didn't have to watch it. But needless to say, I found the right controls and I was able to load the area where I would finally find my ship. Here I am waking up in that area, and that's a little confusing considering I just come off an elevator, but I don't want to quibble too much. But it feels good to finally be making some progress. I know I'm headed in the right direction, and my ship is just around the corner at this point. So I wander around my new area to try to find out what is interactive, what I can touch, what I can use, and there's not much to do, because this is the alpha. Can't use the vending machine, and I can't use the women's bathroom. Obama would be very disappointed in you, game. Now I found these steps. These steps are very important. They take me down to deck 2, and in this area I can finally find the terminals, the computers that will let me call my ship. Here I entered third person mode again. You can see the default body armor / exosuit they give you, and this is what you start off with. This is the computer terminal area where you can order your ship. I head down here, I go to the screen, and I press F to use, and it brings up the screen where I can order my Mustang Alpha. I bought the tier that give you the upcoming single player campaign, and of course the Mustang Alpha ship as my starting ship. So we head out deck 1 here. You can see that my Mustang Alpha is showing up on my radar, so it's kind of hard to miss. This appears to be another little shop where you can buy things, but I don't want to be distracted, especially with my ship now in sight. So I continue on my way. I find another little store, but I take a second to look outside and admire the view. Here I come across another player also trying to find his ship, and we go out the door that takes us from the safety of the space station into the coldness and vastness of space. Upon release, Star Citizen will have two modes. Right now I'm playing the Universe mode, which is an MMO and has plenty of other people in the whole universe to explore. The single player isn't finished yet. Here I get a little confused. I lost track of where my ship was, and I'm almost afraid this guy is still in my ship. But no worries, that's his ship and not mine. I finally come to my senses and head in the right direction. I go around the corner and I can see my ship on my radar again, and there she is, the Mustang Alpha. I take some time to get a good view of my ship, and it's a good looking starter ship. I'm pretty proud of it. I also take some time to look around the space station itself. This is a good looking game, and it's an early alpha. You get a good sense of grandiose and scale, and it's pretty epic. So now it's time to find my way in my ship. I'm a little confused because I just watched that guy get on his ship and he got in the back. Of course my ship's different, it takes me a little bit to find the correct way. And since this is early alpha, it's a little glitchy looking, it's a little hard to figure out, so I just have to kind of walk around till I see the right prompt to finally press F. It makes sense that maybe you could get in the cockpit, but no, alas, that is not the correct way. But finally I happen upon the correct prompt. I press F and a ladder comes out and I can finally enter my starship. Here the game gets a little confused because I'm still in third person mode and it doesn't really know how to deal with that inside the ship. I don't let it bother me though, I just press F and I get into my pilot seat. And now we're cooking with gas. It's getting pretty late and I need to quit playing the game and go do my other business. But I don't call it a success until I at least take off and fly the ship a little bit. So once again it's back to options and key bindings to try to see ship controls. And man, am I sick of this screen. Eventually though, I find that the space bar is the button that you push to raise your ship from the ground. So here we are at crunch time. Liftoff! It's a success. I finally found my ship and I'm finally in the air. Put it in third person because you of course want to see what your ship looks like. Do a few little barrel rolls. Get another good look at the space station and the planet around it. And I'm starting to think despite all the trouble I had, it was worth it because it's always fun to be in a spaceship. And while I'm a long way from actually knowing how to fly this ship, I met my goal and I'm feeling really good. So I hope you enjoyed this video and haven't found it too frustrating. I've made a Newb in space just to show you what you might be dealing with if you start playing the alpha for yourself. Again, I thought it was an interesting experiment to show what it would be like coming into this game, being unfamiliar with it almost completely, and just sort of feeling your way through it. So thanks for watching. Once again, I'm General Grudge, and you have watched A Newb in Space. There'll be more to come. Goodbye.